Shit, fucking right, dude. And here's the fucking weird deal that we can put this on the podcast. I don't care, but you see this little, you see this little knob that's on top of my ear right here?
Yeah.
That little deal?
I have one of those.
It's like gristle, bro. It's fucking hard. Like if I put ink on it, I could write my name on a piece of paper with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I have one, but my sister closed my ear in the door.
How the fuck did you get your ear in the door?
I really don't even know to this day, but she did. She shut my damn ear in the door.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Amber.
Weird,
True story.
Dude.
True story.
It's like getting your lip caught in the door or some shit. Oh, shit. Okay. We going to do the introduction or what?
Yeah.
We got to write a jingle, dude. We got to get a fucking jingle.
You had one.
We ain't doing that shit. That's fucking... I was fucking around. Which one are you talking about?
The song you wrote.
Oh, God. God almighty, no, dog.
And there's a guitar behind you if you want to grab it.
It'll never work.
Play the guitar.
No. I would rather do that. I'd rather put that dumb shit that I sent you today on there than that shit.
That's what I was talking about.
The fucking, the thing I sent you today?
Yeah.
Oh, God, dude. I was just fucking around trying to irritate you. That was purely to irritate you. And the guys in the group. I sent it to the fucking chat to piss everybody off.
I thought you were going to play it tonight.
Hell no. No. We can use the audio off of it. I don't give a fuck until we get something better. But we need a jingle real bad.
I thought you were going to do one in the
oh God
into the microphone so that we would have that.
I don't even, dude. I fucking forgot the chords.
A high definition recording.
Dude, I practiced that bitch for like 10 minutes before I actually videoed it. You know, trying to make sure I got the chord changes down. And
now you forgot it already.
Yeah. It was a momentary thing. I learned it just for that long.
And this is it.
What you got today was it. You know what I mean? It's all in all its shitty glory.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, let's just do this. We'll get the jingle and add to it. But this is the I Don't Drink Coffee podcast, hosted by Lucas Johnson, aka LJ, and young Benny Klein, who just had a birthday just a few short days ago.
What's my AKA?
You don't ever get one. I don't know. Benny, Ben, Paul Benjamin. What do you want?
Oh, God.
What do you got?
Why would you throw my first name out there? I hate it, dude. I absolutely hate it.
You know, you brought up an interesting point. In case that other part probably won't make it onto the deal. I did a little jingle for the podcast today and sent it to Ben, made a little video, and it's what's the name of the song that I did? It's a Seether song. Fine Again. To the tune of Fine Again, I did an I Don't Drink Coffee podcast jingle and sent it to Ben, and what was my point? Where was I going? Oh, he was talking about it has single syllable name. Yeah. All of his names are all single syllable, and it's funny because every one of them. Well, no, Benjamin, if you used the full name.
Yeah. But when I introduced myself, I introduced myself just a couple of days ago to a guy, and I introduced myself, and I hate it. And it crosses my mind every single time.
I don't really, my name is not, it's a very common name, but to me, for a grown man, it's weird for my name to be Lucas. It always seemed like a kid's name to me. And so now when people say it back to me as a grown guy, I do kind of feel weird. You know what I mean?
Really?
I don't hate it, but it's just like.
No, dude, yours rolls, man. It's great.
I don't really, it's very common, and I realize that, but it just seems like a kid's name.
Well, mine's common as well, but when you put Ben Klein together and you're trying to introduce yourself to somebody, it does not. It'd be better if I did say Benjamin Klein. I think that sounds a little bit better, but Ben Klein, Ben Klein. I mean, and every time they're like, huh? Oh, okay.
Just say
it's the way I deliver it, of course, but also
Just use Benjamin. You know what I mean? Just say,
like
I'm Benjamin Klein. They'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
really? And do that little finger tickle thing you do when you shake people's hands to everybody, no matter who they are.
You know, I've caught myself actually doing that to somebody that didn't really know me. You know what I mean? I'm like, gosh dang,
That's
man.
a perfect thing
Oh,
to
dude,
do.
it throws them off every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Yeah, dude.
People even know me people that even know me and I do that, they jerk their hand back. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? But,
Well, and the thing about, I wish I had a personality that was more geared towards those kinds of things, because you have you have sayings, you remember jokes, and
you don't want to do that. You don't want to do the little tickle thing in the hand to somebody, that is
I'll
not
be honest
down
with you.
it.
If I'm buying insurance off somebody and I'm personally talking to them and they tickle my hand whenever we shake hands, I'm going to automatically trust this guy more than I would somebody that shook my hand and, did the old office thing to me or whatever.
Man, that's funny.
I mean, it would gain my trust immediately. The same thing with curse words, though.
You're already making me laugh, man. You're already making me laugh, and I'm trying not to laugh into the mic. And I know that sounds even worse when I'm trying not to.
No, dude.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went into Head Start, right? Head Start, preschool, whatever. It was that little, the little daycare by my house up there on the hill.
Yeah.
It was
is it Cowboys?
I'm not sure what it is now, but it was behind Handy Stop 2. And, man, I hadn't even thought about that building in a long time. But anyway, so I go in and the teacher, she goes down, she goes, oh, I'm Miss So-and-so, And I said, I'm Ben Klein, And she goes, you been crying? And I said, no, I'm Ben Klein.
I think it's funny you can remember this. That's what I think. Man, anytime you've ever been, I think anytime somebody's embarrassed you remember it.
Maybe that's when it started. Maybe that's when it started. Like, no. B word? No, bitch. I'm Ben Klein.
You've been crying.
Yeah,
How
dude.
come?
True story. She told my mom my mom may have been standing there. I'm not sure.
Well, did you have a little speech impediment? Did you say Ben Quine? That's probably what it was.
No.
Yeah, you strike me as a speech impediment guy.
No, I don't think I did.
And, it's unfortunate, but I bet you said, I'm Ben Quine. And she goes, you've been crying. And you get mad at her because she misunderstood
So even
you.
still to this day, maybe that's why. But when I say, and it's not her fault, but she thought I said I've been crying. But why the hell would I tell you I've been crying? You know what I mean? I've been crying.
Hey, I think it's funny. Well,
Can you think of a teacher says, just think of it now. Just think about it.
Well, think about every teacher you knew whenever you were young, in the, what would that have been in the 80s?
Late 2000.
Anyways, in the 80s. Well, most teachers, not all, but a lot of teachers, especially for young little kids in those days, everything was, it was all shit,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
And they're always looking for an excuse to talk to you, baby talk you or whatever, which they don't do so much anymore, but.
I haven't been crying.
I bet you had. I bet you cried after she said it. I bet you're like, no, it's Ben Klein.
No. I may have been crying because I didn't want to go,
You go, now I've got a migraine.
I remember getting my back rubbed to go to sleep, but because I never was a nap person, still am not a nap person. I do not take naps. I can't.
Well, you know what the deal is with little kids that don't nap is everybody hates them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I wasn't like that rambunctious kid that just was, over there.
Yeah, but
maybe I was.
But the very fact that during nap time, you don't have to monitor.
Yeah.
And if you don't take naps, then they have to monitor you the entire time, so they hate you.
I don't think she rubbed my back all the time. I think just that one day, and then she realized I wasn't going to go to sleep. And so maybe you got to go in the next room and kind of read a book or whatever. But
you had that nickname from then on. You were Ben Cryin.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Ben Cryin's not taking a nap again today. The kid with the long hatchet head. Yeah, he's not napping again today.
I'm going to ask
somebody go in there and watch him, please.
I'm going to ask my mom who that teacher was. I'm sure she remembers.
The lady's like, I'm going to have to go out and hit the flask if this kid don't take a break and go to sleep.
My mom knows the woman. I think she still lives in Wilburton, but my mom she told me a while back that woman still lives in McAllister. But the girl, the college girl that stole my pumpkin, I ever tell you that story?
No.
On Halloween? Yeah, I was out front and I had my little devil outfit on that my granny made me, and I like to scare kids, at a very young age. I've been doing it since I was 5 years old. And I think I was 4 or 5. And this girl comes up and she goes, "Hey, we're collecting or whatever pumpkins. Can we have y'all's? It's all, back then you actually, trick or treating was until midnight. It seemed like, I think it was till 11 o'clock. There was no time limit on it.
It was the Wild West, dog, when we were kids.
That's the way it should be.
There was razor blades and apples, and there was fucking needles and candy bars and shit.
Well, it shouldn't be that. But
I know, I'm just kidding.
She goes, I said, well, I'll have to ask my granny. And I turned around and opened the door. And right when I opened the door, I looked over, and that girl had bent down and blew the fucking candle out in my pumpkin and grabbed it and took off running.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She did the old misdirection on you, yeah.
Yep. But we tracked her down, okay? My granny and my mom or somebody took me out to the college.
We ain't having this shit. This aggression will not stand, man.
I've been a car dude my whole life, right? And took me out to college, and I picked her car right out.
Huh. So
there she is.
She wasn't even a townie, bro. She was from the college, huh? One of the college kids out there stealing pumpkins.
I'm not sure. But yeah, they were having a contest.
Huh. Well, you were living up to your name then. You were Ben Cryin.
I didn't cry.
Took my pumpkin.
I didn't cry, man. I did not cry, damn it. I didn't cry, though, but I was like, she stole our pumpkin.
Yeah.
We had 2 pumpkins.
And you had your little devil outfit on. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have it. I think that outfit's here, actually.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could still wear it. That'd be sweet.
No,
probably not.
But anyway,
I bet you could wear it till you were about 16.
I don't know why we got off on that story. Why did we get off on that story?
We were talking about Ben Cryin.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I introduced myself. There's a new kid in town on Cayson's baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to come to McAllister. So I, introduced myself. We were in Stigler, playing Stigler. And he walked up and said his name, and it was
Ben Cryin.
It was 2.
Sorry, I'll leave it alone now.
It was 2-syllable words, his name, both of them. Rolled off his tongue. It was great. And then when I say Ben Klein, dude, it does not roll off my tongue ever. The way I just said it is probably the best way I've ever said it. It just does not roll off my tongue. I don't know why.
Well, it's because you hear it all the time. You know what I mean? You say it.
I don't say my name all the time. I try not to.
Well, yeah, when you introduce yourself, and you having your own business, I'm sure you introduce yourself,
I
fairly
try not
often.
To, man. I'm just like, hey, hey, how's it going?
I'm an insurance guy. Yeah, you want insurance?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't try to peddle insurance out in the wild. I try not to. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean?
You
want insurance?
Out in the wild, I like that. Yeah.
If you want insurance, call me.
When we're out in the bush, I don't peddle insurance. Please don't spray Coke, okay?
Out my nose, bro.
That's Coca-Cola, the real Coca-Cola he's drinking over there with the cocaine in it.
Yeah. Coke's not paying us, so I'm going to turn it backwards.
Yeah, I hid my Mountain Dew just for that same reason. If they want in this fucking podcast, they're going to come across with some money. Okay?
I would hide Mountain Dew anyways. I'll just show you terrible.
Shit's good, dude.
No.
I'll show your logo, but you got to kick me some cash.
You got to pay us. Period.
I can be bought, but, I ain't cheap.
Yeah, we can be bought for sure.
Definitely. Well, okay, so you brought up the thing about the new kid, huh?
Could we be bought by Bud Light?
Sure. I'll even cross-dress if they pay enough money. Fuck it.
Okay.
I don't have any scruples, you know what I mean? Whatever. What do we got to lose here?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Our self-respect's already gone, so, what's left?
Right.
At that point.
It's very true. I've been crying. Can't get any lower than that.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
You been crying?
I'm like, no, I ain't been. No,
I can just hear this lady.
Crying. And she was like, she's probably looked at me again like,
she crying. She goes, that kid just corrected me, but he said been crying, I'm telling you.
And he said it again.
She said that little fucker is probably what she said. Dude, now, so there's a new kid on Cayson's baseball team. Does he play any other sports besides baseball?
Yeah, he plays football.
Yeah, cool. Where's he from originally, or where did he come from?
I think Ada. His dad's from Colgate, I believe. And I think he works at the base. And I think he's found a house and moving here.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. We played against him a couple of years ago. This kid's really good. I mean,
in baseball or football? Which
he's
one?
really good.
Oh, so no matter what, he's an athlete. Is what
Pretty
you're
much,
saying.
I think.
Okay.
Now not basketball. Now we played against him last year in basketball, or this season, I
And
think.
he sucked.
I don't remember him.
Well, he sucked then. That's kind of got to be a
No,
given.
I'm not real good at. You would
Go ahead and tell us his name. I'm just kidding.
I have to see. Yeah, they have to be really good for me to. I mean, I have headaches all the time, and I don't want to get into that. But I'm just saying,
That's why I brought it up earlier.
Stuff just don't. You
I
know
did
what I
it
mean?
for you. Well,
I don't pay attention to every kid on the other team.
Yeah.
Now there are people that I know really well that do.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to everybody, and they remember faces, and I'm like, dude. How do you remember?
That's a funny thing about, since my kids have all left McAllister School, I've stopped following them on Facebook and stuff. Not because I don't hate it. It's just I followed it because my kids were playing there. You know what I mean?
My kid still plays there.
Well, but I see your stuff posted and everything.
I don't post everything, dude. I don't post anything really.
Well, that's on you, Bri. If you want me to know, because here's the deal: is I'm not going to dig through.
Here's the way
today they qualified for the 15th round of regionals in baseball.
Nowadays, this is how I see things, and I'm going to be 100 with you.
Okay.
Nobody cares,
right?
You know what I mean about my kid.
Well,
nobody cares.
Your family that sees, and it's nice for me to see every so often. I care.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Chris, whenever his daughter's doing really good in wrestling, and when they post something for wrestling, I try to share it.
Okay, I come off wrong on that. People do care, but I'm just talking about
the mundane day-to-day stuff.
I'm talking about not just my kid. I'm just talking about anybody's kid. You know what I mean? If people that just post, if I just posted what I take video of all the time, people would be like, we don't care.
Well, no, but I mean, from time to time, I see, like that sped up video that you had at the basketball clinic or whatever it was. Those kind of things. I don't mind seeing that stuff, but I don't want to. I'm not that interested to know what McAllister High School basketball is doing today, or this week.
Well, we got a new
whatever.
coach.
Well, I don't know who it is, but I'd heard that.
The guy from Rock Creek. I don't.
Where's Rock Creek?
It's a small school, I believe. Towards Caddo, maybe somewhere down there in that area, I believe. And I couldn't even tell you his name right off the tip of my tongue. I don't.
Okay.
I know I've read it, and I knew that. I knew that he was one of the ones that they were looking at or whatever. They were wanting to hire. I shouldn't say this. Yeah, I should. Damn it, because I'm kind of mad about it. No, I'm not. I'm excited.
Well, it's our podcast. You can say whatever you want to.
Well, I know, but I don't have any. I mean, okay.
Within reason.
Okay, so they wanted to hire the Broken Bow coach, and he's an excellent coach. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know anything about the Rock Creek coach because we've never played Rock Creek, right?
All right.
So this guy is
probably a good
from what
coach,
I've heard.
You just don't know.
Yes, exactly. So it's nothing against him. I don't want to throw shade at this guy because my son's going to be playing for him, this
is all inherent. Everybody understands that,
right? But even then, I don't feel like I should be saying anything. So it's not towards him, right? Even if my son wasn't going to play for him, it's not fair to him if I were to. So this is not against him, but the Broken Bow coach we've played against, and it's Coach Singleton's brother-in-law.
Of course it is.
But he's a really good
Coach Singleton being
Coach Singleton,
the AD, the athletic
is
director.
The athletic director.
Yeah.
So I think the board voted on it.
McAllister. Anyways, go ahead.
The board voted, and they turned it down. But if it's not nepotism, then it's not nepotism.
Right.
So why couldn't he be hired? And like I said, man, this is nothing against the coach we have now. I'm excited about him. I really am excited about him.
Well, maybe they're trying to change the culture a little bit. Maybe they feel like that, they got to start somewhere or something.
Well, I'll be his biggest fan. You know what I mean?
There's that, we were talking about a culture that was one of the things that I kind of had an issue with. I mean, my kids didn't have a bad experience at McAllister necessarily, but I didn't really. There were things about it that were good, but I mean, by and large, there's a lot of things in the town and in the school and many other things that all are kind of.
Yeah, but I know somebody that's
they're
really
hokey.
close to the Hartshorn schools, and they tell me the exact same thing that you're telling me now.
That's 100% true.
Oh,
all these
okay.
people it's the same people that's been doing the same things for centuries or whatever.
Well, I had to bring it up because that's where your kid's going, so I had to bring up Hartshorn. I'm sorry, Hartshorn. I'm throwing you under the bus.
Oh no. I mean, I fully recognize it,
And it may not even be true. I don't know that. You know what I mean? I hate spreading rumors.
No. Well, I'll say that the
what if it is great? What if Hartshorn School is great? And I was told this by somebody who's unhappy with Hartshorn Schools. And here I am just saying it on the damn podcast. And now everybody is either going to, they're going to go, oh, Ben's a guy that's going to spread rumors. And I'm not a guy that spread rumors.
Oh.
But I just did, didn't I?
Well, I'm not spreading rumors either. I'm just.
Because now you're at any little school around Hartshorn and you're even thinking about going to Hartshorn, maybe you're going to think I'm full of it and don't care.
Most people, I would venture to say the vast majority of people that go to Hartshorn, their dad and mom went to Hartshorn and their grandparents went to Hartshorn. I mean, a town that size, it's almost always that way. Wilburton's a lot the same way.
Another thing to say about Hartshorn, I know I live in McAllister now. And if you don't know, I am originally from Wilburton, Oklahoma. I am from Wilburton. I am a Wilburton, I love Wilburton. And so that might be why I throw shade at Hartshorn. Well, and everybody from Hartshorn is going to understand, and then everybody from Wilburton obviously is going to understand.
See, this is
if that made any sense at all.
My unique perspective is, for me, I didn't come to Wilburton until I was in 8th grade, so I still feel like a new kid, even though that was 30-something years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Still feel like a new kid in Wilburton?
Yeah, because all these people all went to like kindergarten and up all the way up through school, except for me and a few others. But the vast majority of kids I went to school with had all been together since daycare or something. So, I mean, as far as
but Wilburton
I don't really
treat
have
people that way.
Oh yeah, I had fist fights the first week I was there. These people all have to try. Yeah,
well,
you know what I mean,
they're jumping you in. And you were jumped in, man. You're one of us now.
Well,
forever.
What's funny is one of the dudes that did it's dead now, which I think is a crazy turn of events. But I would.
Well, I mean, you are up there in age.
Yeah, it happens.
No, you're way too young to be, or people's way. Anyways.
Well, the point I'm getting at is I don't really have a dog in the fight as far as I hate Hartshorn, I hate Wilburton, or I hate McAllister necessarily. I'm going off of.
So you never really picked up the whole Hartshorn, Wilburton.
I did it to get along. That way, I wouldn't get beat up on my football team. Like, yeah, we hate Hartshorn.
But you really never did.
We're going to win the Battle of Gowan Mountain, and we didn't. And most people don't. Some of them do, but most people, Hartshorn far and away owns that. I mean, they've in football, anyways. I mean, in the other sports, but football for those towns is what matters. And Hartshorn's won it vast majority of the time.
I wonder what the record is.
Oh, dude, I don't want to know for sure because it's
comment below. Comment below on the YouTube.
Yeah, somebody
channel.
let us know if they know, or maybe we can do some research and find out. But
I'd rather someone else do the research for us. So I don't have to.
It's easily lopsided.
Especially if it's lopsided. I don't.
Well, I mean, think about the last time you know of Wilburton beating Hartshorn. The last time I know of would have been somewhere around your time. I mean, it'd have been like Luke Mitchell and Luke Underwood.
Yeah, I don't think they beat us back in the day. I don't think they beat us back in our day.
They beat you, but
it
one
was
year
always,
you guys won.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You only beat them once.
We only beat them one time?
I think so. I have to ask Dwayne.
Hey, it got nasty, man. It got nasty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dave brought the train in, and they were waiting. Hartshorn was waiting with paintball guns, I believe, and eggs.
This is before phones, so they had shit to do. I
know. I wish we had all that on video, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just to let people know how the rivalry really went back in the day.
Well,
now it's like, I don't think people know.
Dude, well, even...
They may not even care.
I thought it was crazy that people hung around with Hartshorn people whenever... like
I did too.
Like, I remember... like Trevor Brinkley was dating Natalie Morgan, who I ended up marrying later and having kids with. But I'm just saying she was from Hartshorn and he was from
I
Wilburton.
remember when all the Hartshorn girls came to Wilburton. I did not appreciate it.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy because I remember being older, thinking, dude, that would have never gone over.
I did not appreciate it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I did not appreciate it.
Well, those are days whenever people would pick a team and be on that team or whatever. And,
like,
I'm kind of not that way, but.
I was like, what are they doing here?
Right.
Well, one time we had a party at Trent's house and a group of Hartshorn girls went in. Hartshorn girls went into his bathroom and put a whole bunch of mail in his toilet and flooded his whole fucking house.
It's excellent.
For no reason.
Not excellent at all. But
so then I was really mad at the Hartshorn girls.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Well,
I was just little Benny back then anyways.
Right. AKA been crying.
Rammer.
You've been crying.
You've been crying.
That needs to be dude. That's going in the fucking jingle. I promise you. I guarantee you it is somewhere
Lucas Johnson
somehow.
Had been crying.
No, it's going to be.
Hey, maybe I should just
no. The last
from
thing.
now on,
the jingle is going to go.
Introduce myself as Ben Cryin.
Fucking right, dude. I'll help
everybody.
you. I'll help you. My co-host, this guy I co-host a podcast with. His name's Ben Cryin. The end of the jingle. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be my voice at the end, and I'm going to say it's going to do. I don't drink coffee podcast. Yay. You've been crying, and that's gonna be the end.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, at the very end. Yes. I like it.
It's happening.
I like
It's
it.
happening.
I like it. I mean, this is a story I've told my whole damn life, man.
It's a good one,
and I hate it.
I'm glad that I didn't
Klein.
know it.
He goes, huh? The other day, he goes, huh? I said Ben Klein, and then I'm like, I hate saying my own damn name.
I like it that he made you repeat it. He probably saw it on your face that you.
But
didn't
going
want
back to the Hartshorn thing. My family's from Hartshorn. My Cryin side, my Klein side is from Hartshorn.
Right.
I mean, I have some cousins, and I think Melissa Klein. I don't know. She's about your age, I guess. Do you remember her?
Yeah. Oh, you're related to her?
I
didn't know that.
I don't know her though. I don't know
Right.
her, but yeah, my dad and my grandpa and my Aunt Sandy Ranello.
That's weird because that's right. I forgot about that. Chris Turner, who we've had on the podcast before, he dated Melissa in high school.
Oh, okay.
Is how I know. I mean, whatever. But
The only reason why I really know her is because I would always get asked.
Oh yeah.
And then I'd have to, then I'd be at like my granny's or something. And
have your last name be Johnson, okay? And get asked every fucking day, every fucking 5 minutes. And it don't matter if it's Johnston, as people will say. I don't know if you're related to him or not, but I don't like so-and-so Johnston. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing because my name's Johnson, not Johnston. So we're in the clear. Plus, I'm not related to any of these fucking Johnsons.
And I guess a Jill Klein, too, in Hartshorn.
Yeah, but she's a C, not a K.
I know, but I still get asked. Oh, okay. It's the same thing. Okay. It's not as probably not as prevalent as Johnston and Johnson as you get asked, but definitely I get asked a lot when I was a kid, especially if I was kin to her and Melissa.
Well, nobody asked me if I'm related to Magic Johnson.
So I don't know why. But, I finally had to ask. I'm like, am I kin to Melissa Klein, And they're like, yeah.
Of course you are.
And maybe I'm not even, I don't know. But it's spelled the same, I believe.
I don't remember. I remember her in school, but, I don't.
Did she go to Wilburton?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was 2 years older than me, I think. She was a year older than me, but she ran around with popular people and I wasn't popular or whatever. So
was she popular?
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of runs in the Klein side, I guess.
Yeah.
Cryin side.
I said,
Ben Cryin.
Your name's Melissa Cryin. She said, yes.
So we got this new kid, showed up, played with us on our first summer baseball team. Baseball game in Stigler. We played our summer ball. Okay, so our summer league. We're not in a league. We just go play tournaments, right?
Okay.
The same team that we play previous summer leagues, but this year we're not playing in a league. We're just doing tournaments. So we go to Stigler Saturday. And we win both games. Go back on Sunday, lose to Stigler. Their put together team, not their school team. It's different. Some of their kids, and then go back on Monday. And then we started our school ball and played Stigler again. So.
Did you beat Stigler that time?
Yeah, we won that time.
Oh, sweet.
And that's when the new kid showed up. So, and that's when I said my name to the guy.
And it was this kid's dad that you introduced yourself to? Or to the kid?
Kid's dad.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was a little bit creepy if you would introduce yourself to the kid instead of his dad. You know, like, oh, I'm Cason's dad. Been crying.
No. I talked to him a little bit today. We played again today.
Oh, yeah.
Played Savannah.
That's
so
good.
Anyways.
Well, things seem to be going along pretty much the same in McAllister as far as no big developments athletically. I mean, as far
brand
as
brand new freaking middle school and gym.
Oh, they got done with it finally?
It's gonna the gym's gonna be done, I think, next month. It was supposed to be done this month.
You were acting like I missed something big, but it's still under construction, so they haven't.
It's almost finished.
Okay.
I went and took a tour of it.
Well, now I would say that you would be correct in saying it that way if you guys had played in it or if they were going to school in it, but it's not complete yet. So you acted like I missed something completely. Like, well, we've got a brand new fucking gym. Well, you forgot about that, didn't you? And I'm like, we aren't playing it, right?
We're excited about it.
But it's new. You know, it's just not open yet. I feel like I fucked up. I was like, really? They having practices in there?
Well, you're acting like we don't have nothing going on.
Well, you know,
to look forward to.
No. I said that wrong. I didn't mean it that way. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say that things are fairly, calm and.
Yes, the gym in Wilburton is much bigger than this gym.
Now I will say this. Well, I don't know about that, but I know
I do.
I'll say this. Well, that gym's bigger than a lot of people's fucking gyms.
You damn right, and I love it.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Every time I go in there, still.
I greatly appreciate it.
Anytime I walk in that gym, I'm still like, holy shit. It feels like a college gym. You know what I mean? Like, damn, you look around in there.
It's huge.
Yeah. I don't like it. And I'll tell you why I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like going to find. No, I don't like finding a seat. It's a fucking 10-mile walk, no matter where you go in there. Unless you sit down at the handicap row or is handicap appropriate? Can I say that now?
Yeah, but if it was a lot smaller gym, it would still be harder to find a seat, right?
Well, it's just long ways. It's steep and shit. I don't know. I'm used to old school gyms, I mean, like McAllister's, where it's fucking the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers could have played there. You know what I mean? This fucking gym was built in like 1941 or something.
Well, it's just like Wilburton's old gym.
Yes.
They look exactly. I mean, they had to be built really close at the same time. Maybe not. Maybe McAllister's gym's a lot older.
I think maybe so. Because it's,
it's
got a
very. New gym, and I'm excited about it.
Have you been in there yet?
Yes, I went and took a tour.
Oh, they're giving out tours out there.
No, but I took a tour.
Oh.
I've been motherfucking crying, okay?
You caught me off guard. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that. That one got me.
Yeah, I got to take a tour of that and the school. They're all connected. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well,
I'm not going to say anything.
It'll jam the.
I'm not going to talk about that. It's kind of odd the way it was built, the way it was the design of it. A little bit different. Not something I would have probably done, but I'm not going to complain.
Well, I don't really understand why they built it right on top of the high school. I mean, in a town as big as this, and of course maybe it's because I'm used to everything being split up in this town.
I don't know either, and I think that maybe the design of it comes from it being on that hill too.
Well, think about what you're going to get into. You're going to have all middle school kids and high school kids that can't drive yet getting dropped off and picked up. It was already a motherfucking nightmare to get in and out of either one of those schools when they were separate. Much less being in the same fucking campus.
I don't know why.
Quote me on that.
I don't know why they don't start at different times. And when I say start at different times, I mean not 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
I mean maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like the middle school, and then the high. And I don't know what they plan on doing. I don't know.
That was when I saw them starting to build that, and when Carter wasn't old enough to drive, I was still dropping him off, at the high school. And dude, I was in line. I was sitting there looking at and it was just dirt work at the time, that really got started on. I was looking up there and I was thinking, what in God's name are they going to, I bet nobody's even thought of it. I bet if somebody sees this podcast from McAllister School, they're going to be like, Oh shit! I didn't think about that.
I think you're right. Too.
We wanted one cop to be able to patrol both schools. Is all we thought about. You know.
Well, I appreciate that, but I don't appreciate there not being a plan if there's not a plan. And from what I know, or from what I've heard, there's not a plan.
No.
But I could be wrong.
Dude, the traffic will be backed up to the goddamn hospital and then out to fucking 69 on the other.
Because I heard they're not going to open that back gate.
Yeah, see? And
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know, man. Like I said,
I'm gonna fucking start an Uber in McAllister and I'll get fucking rich. I'll Uber your kids to school. How about that? And be like, fucking hey.
You're gonna have to get a bus.
I gotta go to work and it'll take 3 hours to drop them off. So here you go.
You're gonna have to rent a bus.
Yeah.
I'll start. Like I said, man, I don't want to be negative about it.
No. I just said something I thought about.
I'm talking about. I don't want to be negative about the
microphone.
About the small. It's not that big of a gym. It's not big enough to even have the graduation. And I think that's what people were told, was that it was going to be big enough for a graduation. Not that it's a big deal to me, I guess.
Well, I'll be interested to see because, I'm sure.
It's a big gym, but it's not big enough to hold a graduation. So if McAllister, if you're thinking that you're going to be going to a graduation in McAllister at the gym, you're not.
Well, I hope they make me look like a fool. I hope they've got something in place that I don't know about that like makes everything flow. Yeah. I would love to be proven wrong on this deal. Right. Honestly, I'm being serious. I would love to know that these people are like, let me tell you something, smart ass. We got this figured out. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. The design of it, man, it's just not, I just didn't understand some of it.
Well, those teachers are the ones that deal with this shit. So surely they were like, why in the fuck are we building two buildings right next to each other that have kids that have to be dropped off?
I don't think teachers or other personnel of the school had any kind of input on anything. I think this thing was designed and put together and said, let's do it. I don't think it was it fits well thought out.
Hey, it fits in McAllister like a glove.
Well, I'm not saying
all
it's
this
bad.
shit in this
it's
town. It's
brand new. It's got some safe rooms in it. It's nice. It's going to be big. It's going to be, it's just a little bit different. We're like, why is that there?
Well, I know since I left,
the band
what you guys
room
had
is underneath. The wrestling room is underneath the gym. The huge rooms. I thought the band had their own whatever already, but I think it was kind of like, well, if we're not going to be included, then we're not going to help pass it type thing. So we got to build this gym and we got to have these massive, it just, I don't know. I'm so excited about it. I really am excited about it. And I hate being negative,
dude,
Larry, negative Nancy or whatever, negative. I hate being that. I really do. And I didn't even want to bring it up. You know what I mean?
I did.
But when you think about stuff, you're like, why are you doing this? I don't get why it's this way.
Surely you're getting used to it. I mean, this is fucking part of the course. No, I'm talking about in this town.
No, every town I go to.
Dude, this town you've had what, like 2 boil orders in the fucking, since I've been gone. I know I haven't been able to drive down that, what's the main fucking street?
Talk about the water now,
dude. The fucking water, dude. I laugh. Hey, I know.
Oh gosh, don't say you laugh.
Hey, I know that everybody hates it. I know, but let me tell you something. I laughed my balls off because
I did not laugh.
Let me tell you what.
Toilet
rental places made a fucking fortune here a while back when all the fucking water was fucked up, and they had to bring all over.
Let's tell everybody what happened, because we
tell
do that
me
a
what
lot.
happened.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, it was a fucking water outage, and all the fucking restaurants were closed. Krebs made $1 million a fucking hour, and lunchtime fees for people going to eat in Krebs instead of McAllister because nothing was open. Couldn't get any food, so everybody fucking left, and all the businesses. Well, you have all these businesses up and down Main Street, first one place and another, that their bathrooms didn't work. So if you want your employee legally, you have to provide a restroom.
Yeah.
So they had to go rent a bunch of fucking rental toilets and set them out there, and everybody got to use rental toilets. So they got the fucking water going again. The town was shut down for like 3 days.
They put rental toilets in the
everywhere. Dude,
really?
The person that I know that has a toilet rental business said they worked till like 11 o'clock midnight every night trying to get all the toilets delivered because that demand was that big. Yeah. He didn't tell me nothing about money, but I promise you.
You know when they get
Oh my God! Much less an emergency. Well,
so
we need these toilets now.
They were putting them in the fast food restaurants.
No, I'm talking about like the business, like Buck Wilson, places like that.
Okay.
They go set them outside so people could use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Fucking, and you drive into town and nothing's open, you can't get no food.
I didn't see any of that.
We eat lunch in McAllister quite a bit where I work.
Oh yeah.
Not all the time, but fairly often. And
you never come by and see me.
You're not always. You're here in your bat cave. You ain't never out nowhere.
Right.
You don't go anywhere and eat. Kidding me?
I didn't say. I
El
said
Chico's.
I said you. Bruh.
Yeah. That shit's fucking.
You don't have to go that low. Okay.
It's fucking.
You haven't ate there in a long time.
I don't need to. It's the same food. I saw the picture.
No.
It looks exactly the same. It looks just like it does on the menu. And it looks like somebody took a Hungry Man dinner, slid it out of the package, pulled the fucking plastic off of it, turned it upside down on a plate.
Take that back right now.
For people that know us, but people that don't, we had, the mutual friend, Dustin Heath Bridges, and he was killed in a tornado 10 years ago on May 31st this month. And I can't believe it's been 10 years, though, dude. Like, so many things have happened and changed since then that I guess, on that end of it, I can see it. But just the fact of how ingrained it is in my mind, just like I remember standing there, remember which way I was facing, and it's one of them times in your life where it's life before this happened and the life after it happened type thing, and that was a big one, definitely. I mean, there's God almighty, the things that I wonder sometimes, because our relationship, mine and his especially, was very how would I say it? What's a fair way of saying it? Like, it was like brothers, kind of. And what I mean by that, people always say we were like brothers, because they always had their arms around each other. But he and I would fight. We get mad at each other, get pissed off, and he wasn't afraid to piss me off, and I wasn't afraid to piss him off, and we weren't afraid to say shit that was to the bone, and so I think sometimes, about some of the decisions that I make and some of the things he would say to me if he was here, to know, to bounce the shit off of, because some of the, how it is, and you've definitely become aware since you catch the brunt of it since he's been gone too, about some of the things that I'll just come up with that I'm going to do, and just like, he'd be like, the fuck are you, what are you talking about? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And I think I'd had some profound way of looking at something, I'm like, I'm going to do this because of this. And he's like, it's the dumbest shit. Don't do that. Or like when Facebook was new, I remember he would talk me off the fucking ledge of putting shit on Facebook. He's like, that shit don't put that on Facebook. You're fucking up. And at the time I didn't understand it, because I'm like the boomers, I guess you'd say now, where it was, Facebook was like this new way to get to vent all your shit out there, and now he'd be more proud of me about Facebook, but there's a lot of shit that, like my kids going to school at Hartshorn, they'd be tripping about it.
He would not appreciate it.
Oh God, dude. I wouldn't get a moment's rest. You know what I mean? Anytime I talk to him, that's all he'd want to talk about. I guarantee you, every time,
Oh, he'd be throwing it up in your face. Yeah. Every chance.
Oh, if they ever lost a game or something like that, oh my God,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just that's a good idea to bring that up because I mean, of course, I had somebody say to me one time like, I don't want to talk about it anymore because it brings up bad things. Why do we want to bring up bad things? I'm like, well, it doesn't always bring up bad things to me. I mean, yeah, the death was awful, but
terrible.
But everything else,
right?
Everything else was good, So for me, it of course, you got the whole he's not here, obviously, But my mind automatically floods back to the times that, dude, we would do shit like I got in my head. I've talked about it on the podcast where I want to do some Navy SEAL training. I was going to get in shape and I wanted to swim
across,
all that shit. And those are the things that my mind goes back to. Where instead of this dude, and as much as I just talked about him telling me shit stupid, he would just be like, Okay, you know, I mean, if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing, and then we go to fucking Sardis, and you know,
Well, it's like when we pepper sprayed Kyle Alderman. You know, he wanted to get pepper sprayed, right? He thought he could handle it or whatever. And I said, okay, you know, we're at my house. I videoed this. It's all on video.
oh, okay,
And we pepper sprayed him. And Kyle did not take it so well. Okay.
I bet he didn't.
He did not take it well at all.
I think you ought to reach out to Kyle and see if it's okay to put a short out.
I think Kyle would want me to post it. It would be the person that actually pepper sprayed him may not want me to.
Well, just the reaction though. If you got any, you know, any video.
I could blur out who did it. It's not, and I don't. They probably wouldn't even care, honestly. But
it would be a really good one.
I mean, hell, it happened 20-something years ago.
It would be a good one.
But
I haven't even seen it, and
you haven't seen it?
I don't think I've seen that. If I have, I've forgotten it.
And he was not taking it well.
Right.
And I said, before we do this, no one's coming in my house. I mean, Kyle's not coming to my house. You know, he's not coming to my house.
You're washing your fucking eyes out.
Right. You're not going to spread, because I don't know if you know anything about pepper spray, but wherever you go, it goes. Okay, my buddy.
Yeah.
That pepper spray is your buddy. Okay. And it ain't going nowhere, but everywhere it goes, you go. So I said, man, we can do this. I want to do this. I'm going to video it. It's going to be great. But Kyle, do you have somewhere to go? He's like, yeah. I'll go across town. You know, Kyle could not make it across town.
Right.
Okay. And it's on video where Dustin's like, hey, man, we got to shut this down. And I'm like, no, we got to keep videoing, you know? And Dustin's like, come on, Ben, you know? So even he had to do that with me. You know what I mean? He's like, listen, this kid needs, you know, and then he talked me into letting him use my shower. Oh, you know, yeah. Dustin's like, he's got to take a shower, Ben. He's got to go use your.
Well, he was a voice of reason a lot of times.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, no, you know. And he's like, Ben, he's dying, you know, because he was around back. I'm videoing. He's around back, and he's using my water around back. You know, behind that. It's cold outside. Okay, it's freezing. You can see the breath. Okay, in the video, and Kyle's back there and just pouring water, and he's saying some very funny things, because I'm kind of like, well, you know, even Kyle's like, he was sitting there trying to, and he's like, this was a terrible idea. It was very funny, but he was not trying to be funny. Right. You know? It was a very, very, very funny video, but Dustin in that video is saying, hey man, you know, come on.
I don't
feel sorry for him. He's fine. You know, he'll be okay. It's just pepper spray.
I would like to see the video.
He did not. Well, when the pepper spray came out, it didn't come out. Okay. So it wasn't the aerosol, I guess. There was no air and a little bit of pepper spray. So it just started pouring out of the can. Okay. So it was just straight liquid. Okay, so he took a whole bunch of straight, just the bottom of the freaking. He took a lot of pepper to his eyeballs. Okay,
did he like?
Because the pepper spray kind of messed up, and it was a cop that did it, right? And so if this person would have had to use their pepper spray,
they wouldn't have had
it. They wouldn't have had it because it wasn't coming out. I don't know if it was because it was cold or what, but it was OC. I mean, it was legit. It wasn't shit you buy off the shelf and give it to your girlfriend or whatever and go pepper spray them. It wasn't that, because that shit's going to make me laugh. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's not going to do the trick to get them away from you or whatever, but I mean, when I got pepper sprayed one time by some OC, and it burnt, but it didn't stop. I'm not saying I'm some badass. I'm just saying I took it well.
Yeah.
The next guy, I won't say his name, he did not take it well. You know, I had to drive 40 miles home, you know, and he's over there, and I thought maybe he legit is dying, you know. I'm not saying his name, but he knows who he is. But he's over there, dude. I thought, do I got to take you to the hospital or what, bruh? You know? And I mean, and I drove on home, and anyways, I did get in the shower and it came back.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it reactivates it because it's liquid. You know, that liquid reactivates it. And so
I've never interacted.
Well, it's kind of like if you eat something real hot, you know, and it gets on your lips.
Yeah, and then you get
and
it
then
again.
later on you lick your lips,
Yeah.
and they get real hot again. Same thing, you know. And that was not explained to me, you know. So I get in the shower and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wash all this stuff off, and it was like getting hit again, you know. I was like, no, you know, but it was no big deal to me, really. I mean, no, I don't want to do it again,
Right.
but yeah, Dustin in that video, and I haven't watched that video in a long time either, but I just remember him. He was the one.
Yeah.
Now there was a bunch of people around, and nobody was really. Everybody was laughing still, you know, because Kyle's freaking hurting, and he's saying funny stuff at the same time, and he's not trying to be funny.
Right.
And Dustin, he's like, all right, man, you know, he had a huge heart, you know,
damn right.
and he's like, all right, we've had our laughs, and that was him in a nutshell, really, you know.
Oh, dude, there's things that go on, you know, just like whenever when Gavin signed to go play football at Pitt State, I wish he could have been there. You know, it would have been because he always believed in both my boys. You know what I mean? And of course Carter was real little whenever he got killed, but you know, I mean, he always backed them. You know, if nothing else because they were connected to me. You know, but still, there's times like that it'd have been nice to, you know. Because he'd have been all over him, you know. He'd have had his arm around him, and you know, and fucking probably arguing with him about where he wanted to pick to play. You know, he's like, "Man, you fucking sure you want to play for them or whatever?" You know, I mean, he would always second guess your choices, you know, or whatever. But
he was real knowledgeable in that kind of stuff, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, he paid attention to a lot more shit than, and he might not say anything until it was an absolute necessity, and then you'd be like, how the fuck do you know about D2 school?
Yeah, how do you know all this? Yeah.
It's like, well, you know.
Well, that coach and this coach and you're like, dude, I don't
remember I introduced you to so-and-so? Well, he used to play for him for a little bit. You don't remember that guy? You know, and it make me feel like a dumbass for not remembering, you know. But you know, I mean, that's just one instance, but there's you know, things here and there.
He was the same way with Kaysen.
Yeah.
You know, you know, he just like he would go play basketball in the league, and he was always picking Kaysen up and letting him touch the net and letting him touch the rim or the backboard and stuff, you know, and you know, nobody else is doing that, which he was just always that guy, man. He always took to little kids.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah,
he was always awesome. Be that, you know, make them feel like they belong and that kind of thing. And I think it was just in him. But then when I hear, you know, a lot about his childhood and probably how he didn't get treated that way, you know, golly, man, I don't even want to bring that stuff up because I didn't really know much about that until after he died.
Yeah.
You know, and then you start hearing stuff.
Well, he would tell funny stories though, you know, about my favorite story for him to tell. I made him tell me that story several times. Was he got a spanking, a real bad spanking from his grandpa for cutting down a fucking apple tree with a hammer. You know, he beat this fucking tree. He would tell me about the spanking, dude. I can't tell it I wish he was around to tell the story because it's fucking hilarious. But I mean, just the things that he would tell me about growing up and you know, a lot of normal stuff. You know, that's how we knew, or how I knew Josh Field. You know, it was they used to meet up and play baseball and stuff like that as kids in the summertime, and when they'd wear Buzzard Gap is what he always called Red Oak. You know, and it took me a little bit sometimes to understand. He had his own name for a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Going down to Buzzard Gap, whatever. You know. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyway, yeah, I miss him. You know, of course, most generally, I mean, I don't spread it around a lot, but most generally I go down and visit his grave on his birthday and kind of check it out and that kind of stuff. And it doesn't always work out where I can. And you know, but I know if it was reversed, you would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, dude, I mean, as far as being thoughtful, he was an extremely thoughtful person, dude, and would pay attention to things you like that you you might say in passing that
Yep.
you thought he didn't even pay attention. You weren't even paying attention to it. You just
Right.
say, yeah, and then he would not forget, and might end up getting you something, or fucking come dragging something in. He's like, here, and I'm like, what the fuck? I remember he bought me a hoodie one time, a Thunder hoodie, just fucking, because I said, man, that's a fucking sick one. I don't even remember where I saw it. I don't remember how I saw it. Maybe it's when we went and watched him, because he and I only went to the one. I've only been to the one game with him, and I think I said something about one or something like that. If this motherfucker bought that for me, so just things like that.
Yeah.
Just weird, I mean.
If you said you liked a certain pop or whatever, and we're in this, we pull up to and get gas, and I'm out pumping the gas. You come back out with what you said you used to drink when you were a kid and you loved it and you haven't seen it in a long time. And he's like, look what I found.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't buy that. I come out in the car and say, hey man, that shit's in the store if you want to.
Got it in there.
You know what I mean? I'm not that thoughtful. You know what I mean? I'm just not. It's not. I'm just not.
Yeah.
But he's like, I got this.
Yeah.
And he might be like, dude, I can't. I don't even remember saying that. But I had to have said it because it's true. But I don't even remember talking about it.
Yeah.
But he did.
Well, that's like, and you know this. Sometimes I have these real bad antisocial tendencies for whatever reason, where I just, not because I'm mad at the world or anything like that. I don't go do anything for a while or something like that. And he wouldn't let that shit go, man. He'd be like, what are you doing? Where you
No,
been?
he would not let it go.
I'm coming by to pick you up. I'm like, no, I'm not even there. And he's like, I'm sitting in the fucking driveway. I see your truck here. You gonna tell me you're not inside? I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah.
He took me to my first and only Red Dirt concert.
Oh yeah.
And I have no.
Who was it?
Jason Boland.
Oh yeah.
And man, I was thinking about this the other day, and I've probably said this already because I go back and forth. I'll 1 minute I'll say, listen, Red Dirt music is literal shit. It's not good. It's terrible. But then I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of people that like it. And those dudes are talented. They're making good music, not good music to my ears.
Right.
They're talented. They can sing. They can play the guitar. They've got bands. They got families. I shouldn't shit on these Red Dirt guys. So I went to this Jason Boland concert with Dustin Bridges. Yes, and Trent Hardaway. I did not have a good time.
Right.
Even all, I was single then. Even all the hot women around, I did not give a single fuck. Okay.
Right.
I had a headache too, so that made it worse too. But I was just thinking,
well,
how do people listen to this? But as I get older, I realize we're all different. We all have different tastes, and obviously they're great in people's eyes and ears. And so, hey.
Well, that's like I think I may have told this story on the podcast. Stop me if I have, but I went to a Jason Boland concert with Dustin and I remember who I was dating.
Where were y'all at? Where was it at?
Natalie. But anyway, shit, I don't even remember. But it was a bunch of college people, and me and Dustin, I don't remember who all was there. Anyways, the funny part of the story is in true Dustin fashion, he's going to introduce me to Jason Boland. He's like, you want to meet him?
Oh, yes. You have to tell the story, but tell it again.
Did I tell it on the podcast?
I think so,
dude,
but tell it again.
Very fucking, dude. Okay. So he's like, you want to meet him? And of course, I'm the kind of person that if I see somebody famous, I generally don't go to them. You know what I mean? I don't. Because
everybody else does.
Well,
tries to.
I just feel like they get it enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'll just be one less bothering them or whatever, And of course, at this time, Boland was pretty big. He's going to be at the fucking Dancing Rabbit thing or something like that here pretty soon here in McAllister. Jason Boland is. He's coming out.
They just had a Dancing Rabbit thing.
Oh, well, but I think they're having another one. He's supposed to be at it or some shit. But anyway.
I hope it does. I hope it goes great.
Sure. But anyway.
I will not be attending.
Dustin said, if you want to meet him, dude, I know him, And I'm like, what? How the hell do you know him? He's like, I met him, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the story. And like, all right, well, we catch Bolin coming out of the bathroom, and he's coming off the stage, I think. Anyway, he stops him, dead stops him. He's like, hey, man, I want you to meet my friend Lucas Johnson. And I can tell by the look on Jason Bolin's face, he has no fucking idea who either one of us are. He does not know Dustin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, this is not against Dustin, but Dustin, befriended this fella.
Right. At some point.
Met him somewhere. I have no doubt that he met him. Bolin, on the other hand, meets thousands of people.
Nobody like Dustin, though. But
no,
yes.
but I'm just saying, in the instance of, he's probably thinking these guys are drunk.
He might have been high and drunk at the same time, right?
Very likely, yeah.
So maybe
not Dustin, but Jason Bolin, yeah.
Right. Not Dustin.
No, but anyway, he introduced, and we sit there and talk. I met him at, where Wilburton's at. We're, we live in town where Eastern is, and of course, at that time, not that Eastern was like well known, but there's a lot of people in the Red Dirt circles that knew where Eastern was, because it's like Stony Rouge from down around Atoka area, and so it's kind of that southeast Oklahoma thing or whatever. And so Eastern's a small town that used to have a lot of music in it, and so that was where the association made. But it was just funny to me, that he was gonna, and he wasn't necessarily bragging like let me show you, let me introduce you to somebody famous. He was just like, you want to meet him? We're here to watch him. You want to meet him? Like, it was kind of a gesture in Dustin's eyes. I'm sure it felt like that, But in turn, Bolin had no fucking idea who he was necessarily, And it was just funny and Dustin never missed a beat.
Right.
When we walked off from him, he's like that every time or something like that, but it was just funny. It was but how many times can you go somewhere and Dustin run into somebody that you've never seen in your life? I've never laid eyes on him and he'll know him.
Denton, Texas.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel. We walk in, Dustin knows somebody sitting down eating.
Yeah.
And has this big, and there's like 30 people at this table.
I've seen it where it looks like a fucking mafia movie, where you walk in and everybody's like this. Hey, everybody hugs and all this shit.
That's how this
and
was.
I've never seen this motherfucker in my life.
I was like, and there's a bunch of people at this table, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't go anywhere. That's what I told him. I mean, that was the running joke. You can't go anywhere with Dustin Bridges, period, without having to stop. You see the meme about the kid laying down in the store in his sleeping bag, because his mom ran into somebody that she's friends with and is talking forever, in the freezer section. And that was Dustin. I mean, I did not want to go in anywhere with this dude. We go to Roy's in Wilburton or, of course we know everybody, but he's going to run into somebody in Roy's that he's going to strike a conversation up with, somebody he hadn't seen in a while or whatever, He
would invite me.
But Denton, Texas, which is 3 hours away.
Yeah.
In the middle, I mean, I think we were moving Trevor Brinkley down there or something at the time. And we all go to Cracker Barrel and there's this one dude out of this whole big table and Dustin's knows him and they're hugging, I think. And and then the whole table is like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna go sit down. I'm not.
Yeah.
But.
Well, see, and he would do things like invite me to shit that he's been invited to.
Right.
But now he would make it act like I was invited.
Yeah.
that he's supposed to bring somebody.
You had to double check him. You had to double check him. You're like, Dustin, listen, just because they invited you does not mean I'm invited.
Yeah,
too.
he thinks it's a plus one. You know what I mean? Yes. He's with me. This motherfucker's with me.
Yes.
I've been done that way where I can tell people are like,
oh, I remember it distinctly having to check him on that stuff. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to go. I'm like, dude, I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm like, come on, man. I know that I'm probably not good. You know what I mean? I'm probably
we would go get invited to some place after the when the bar closes, the after party or whatever, and he's like, dude, they said the party's at blah blah blah, so come on. And I'm like, well, I don't know these people. He's like, they're fine with it.
Right.
And then you show up and you can tell these people are like, what the fuck? Because after parties, generally, they don't want everybody from the bar. They just want the people that they know. 3 or 4 people will sit around here and bullshit or whatever. And then here comes this dude they don't know.
He's like, we're going to go to Sally's house and eat dinner. I'm like, dude, she did not make enough for me. Sally did. I don't know who Sally is, but Sally did not make enough for me.
Right.
You know, he's like, oh yeah, we're good. You know,
Yeah, and it turns me in that moment for me. It immediately turns me into a sidekick. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm Dustin's fucking plus one. You know what I mean? And I fucking hate it. You know, I'm like, Dustin, these motherfuckers did not know.
Let's just go somewhere else.
Yeah, and he never thought twice about it.
No,
you know what I mean? He didn't make a fuck.
That was a thing, and that's true, man. That right there, no one can disagree with anything I think we've said. Well, they can't because, you know, hell, that's the way he was. I mean, you know, it was him, bigger than the world, man, and his heart was huge, and no matter what, yeah, you're invited too. Yeah, you know, and he always, you know, paying attention to what you like.
Oh, I've never been friends with anybody. Well, yeah, no,
I haven't.
Not with anybody that
pays attention to every detail.
Well,
for me,
I could be so close to and get so fucking mad at it too. Yeah. Dude, there's been times I've been mad at it. Mad enough I thought, I'm not fucking with him no more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not doing this shit. And think I mean it. You know what I mean? And the next thing I know, he's like, hey, let's go work out. I'm like, I'm gonna go work out. You know? He's like, I'm on my way. You know, I'll be at your house in 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, I won't fucking go. You know, and he's like, well, you don't have to work out or anything. Just go with me down there, man. You know, sit around and talk to me while I lift or whatever. And I'm like, fuck. You know, and he might go down there and we might run into somebody and he talk the entire time and never touch a weight. I can't tell you how many times we took fucking pre-workout, be jacked on pre-workout and never touch anything.
He had those red shorts on, I'm sure, and that gray tank top.
Sometimes, yeah.
Or the white tank top, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dustin Bridges.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because it's
yeah, for sure.
You know, it's been long enough now that a lot of times when it comes to this time of year, I internalize a lot of it. You know what I mean? Just because, like, you know, everybody's fucking, you know, probably gets tired of hearing about it year after year. It sounds like something Dustin would say, you know, because he was tough about that kind of shit, you know. I could tell a lot of stories of him saying things like, Luke. He would always say it like that. Whenever it's just me and him talking, go, Luke, what you're thinking about, don't do what you're thinking about doing. Let's just go. You know, and I'm not talking about fighting somebody or something like that. I'm talking about some girl I'd met or something like that. He'd already know her and I wouldn't even know her at all. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, don't. Let's go home. You know, let's just go home. And sometimes I couldn't be talked out of it, you know.
Well, you're like, I ain't thinking about forever. I'm just thinking about tonight.
Well,
you know?
And in the moment, a lot of times I think he didn't know, you know, no. Then he'd turn out being right, you know.
Every time.
But he would come back, like I probably told this story too, and I won't tell the whole thing, but one time I made him come back and pick me up from McAllister after he'd already went home. He was almost home when I called him. And I was like, dude, you have to come get me. You know? And he's like, what? He's like, I'm pulling in the driveway. I said, yeah, dude, but I'm fucking stranded up. And he goes, where you at? And I said, I was real drunk. And I was like, I'm not sure. And instead of getting mad, you know, instead of fucking like, you're on your own, motherfucker. Or what do you mean you don't know?
That's what Benny Klein would have said.
He just goes.
Benny crying.
He said, look around. What do you see? You know, I'm like, I see an Easy Mart sign. He's like, I know where you're at. And this motherfucker did. I don't know how. Come pulling up beside me. I'm walking down the fucking street, dog barking at me in a yard, and he come pulling up beside me. He's like, get the fuck in so we can go home. I can get in and go home, you know. I mean, there's 1,000 of them.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
So back to Jason Boland. He's coming to McAllister?
Yeah.
Maybe he'll want to do a podcast?
I need to look on the interwebs and find out exactly what it is. But yeah, he's supposed to be playing down
Think he'll want to do a podcast? Maybe think he'll want to come on after what I said?
I don't know.
Probably not.
He might want to come on just to humiliate you or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I wonder if he's still famous enough. You'd have to reach out to his people or some shit like that.
I don't know
how to line that up.
I don't know.
I know somebody that helps line up the talent for all this shit though. All those.
See if he wants to come on the I Don't Drink Coffee podcast.
Yeah.
On the bump story. If you want to hear the bump story,
stop bringing it up.
Let us know.
Fuck.
And I'm not kidding. How many people got to say they want to hear it?
I mean,
how many people need to comment?
If 5 people will show interest, then I'll fucking tell it.
I can get that to happen easily.
Well, I mean, I don't think that. I think everybody's gonna be like, "Who gives a fuck about this shit?" But
it's a very funny story.
It is funny.
I don't even want to think about it because I'm gonna start laughing.
It is funny, but I'd rather not. Rather not tell it.
Dude, it's an epic story. It's an epic story, and it needs to be told.
Dude, let me tell you something. Somebody that we both know, you know him better than me, brings it up almost every time I talk to him. Almost every fucking time.
And that's how epic it is. That's how
dude, he laughs and fucking
I know who it is.
Throws that, he'll say that shit. I just need a bump.
Because it is freaking hilarious.
Right.
I can't believe you didn't lead this whole podcast off a few years ago with that story.
I wish I could make that kind of shit up. I'd be a comedy writer for fucking Saturday Night. Mine is going to be...
So what you got going on?
Sandboys ATVs is kind of not up and running, but it's very close. Said a minute ago that I bought my first rental side-by-side. It's a little Honda Pioneer 700. It's a 2-seater, but it's technically a 4-seater because it has 2 seats in the back that flip up. That, by the way, aren't like junky because my son, Gavin, who's 6'3", 6'4", whatever, he rode back there the entire time we rode at Twin Mountains the other day for like 3 or 4 hours and was fine. He said comfortable the entire time.
Wow.
So
that's good to know.
Yeah, they're not like, I was afraid they were going to be like kind of shitty, you know what I mean, or whatever. But no, they're legit, you know. But they do fold down, and it can be just a 2-seater. But anyways, I bought that thing. So
UTV rentals.
Yes.
UTV rental.
Yeah, it's
company.
Sandboys ATVs. I just wanted to say all-terrain vehicles because I'm hoping it kind of covers
ATVs.
a wide.
Okay, sorry.
Well, it covers a wide deal that way, but UTVs is what I'm doing, the side-by-sides for right now. Where, you know, we may do some more stuff as it goes along, but that's what we got going on as far as you know, different than my day job.
Well, it's booming, it seems like, and the need for it.
Yeah, even though I haven't, I mean, people know that I'm doing it, but I haven't really tried to push it at all. I'm still already getting people calling me wanting to know about it, you know, or how much is it going to cost. I've had a lot of people ask me how much it's going to cost. You know, some of them maybe because they want to do it or whatever, but.
Have you come up with any kind of pricing at all?
I mean, I've got an idea, but to me, you know, they can do that down at Ho Chi Town. You know, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to get what they get. I don't know. I'm still on the fence, dude.
Don't sell yourself short.
Well, I haven't nailed down a hard number. I mean, I know what they rent, and anybody can get online and look, because they have it posted at Ho Chi Town what it costs. You know,
I think you should be similar.
Yeah, I'm probably
to everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna end up coming up to around $100 an hour is really what they get generally. You know, if you go 8 hours. You know, I'm thought about cutting a little bit off of it if you're going to keep it all day or whatever, you know. But for 4 hours, I was thinking $400, $1,000 deposit, but you get your deposit back as long as you bring my shit back unbroken or whatever. But yeah, but there'd be a nice little waiver that I had ChatGPT write me a waiver. Did I tell you that? Yeah, you know they got it for.
I think you may have said something.
They've got the app for iPhone, and I got it and fucking. Asking it wrote me a waiver in fucking 3 seconds, dude. It was crazy. It doesn't cover everything I needed to cover, but I mean, from what the information I gave it, it was neat.
Wow,
what it was able to do. But anyway, yeah, that's my plug. Sorry, got off on the fucking bullshit or whatever.
That's exactly what people want to know: where it's at, where it's going.
Well, and if it takes off, I'll add units. You know, I just don't want to get bunch of payments on shit and not rent or whatever. So, I mean, I can't. I'd like to provide the service though. So if it, you know.
Well, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook about it. About
all this
the
shit
trails
coming.
And stuff. And everything coming. So I think there's going to be I think you're going to do well.
I think so too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We need to have a clip. A fucking short of just you saying, I'm going to cut that out. because it's fucking hilarious every time, dude. It makes me laugh every fucking time, no matter what, because you can see the regret on your face, and it's absolute. Like, there is no question. You're like, I'm gonna cut that
out. Yeah, when I say that, I'm gonna do it too.
I know.
Lucas Johnson. I've been crying. I don't drink coffee podcast.
Been crying.